Members Only is the UK's leading drum shop with store locations in Glasgow and Leeds. Be sure to like, subscribe, and let's do this.
Oh, hello. Welcome to a random live video here at Drummers Only Leeds.
Hello.
With young Nathan.
Hello. Good evening.
How you doing, Nathan? You okay?
I'm okay. Yeah, it's nice to be in Leeds. Nice to see you, see the store.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah.
It's been a lovely day, hasn't it?
It has. We've done lots of fun things. We've got lots of fun things and cool things in stock. So, yeah.
Indeed. Indeed
great.
we do. I think for this video, there is some kind of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Topic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is some kind of topic.
And the topic is, can you remember?
Yeah. Pretty sure it's, what's your favourite gig?
Most memorable gig?
Most memorable gig. What's the most memorable, most favourite?
A gig you'll never forget.
A gig you'll never
forget.
forget. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank
We'll
you
take
to
you over there.
our lovely, lovely producer behind the glass over there. The metaphorical glass, of course.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, if you have a gig you will never forget as well, let us know. Type it in the comments because it's all good. We want to know your experiences at a live gig. It could be anything from just anything, really.
Anything from just
Anything memorable
really.
from a gig.
Yeah.
It could be the price of a pint. It could be the sound.
Of a pint.
Could be anything. So, you start. What's your most memorable moment from a gig?
Memorable moment. Memorable moment or memorable gig?
Memorable gig.
Memorable gig. I'm going to give a couple of answers to this. Purely because my most memorable gig is probably the first gig that my parents took me to.
Right.
So I am a massive fan of Whitesnake.
Right.
My dad and my mum, both massive fans of Whitesnake, have been for a long time, so I got brought up on that sort of stuff.
Yep.
And we went to a Monsters of Rock tour at the Manchester Apollo,
Right.
which is an awesome venue. The sort of the camber of where the audience stand is perfect, so you can see the stage perfectly from wherever you are.
How old were you?
Oh, I want to say 12, 13.
Say it then.
12, 13.
Okay. Yeah.
Ish. Can't remember exactly.
It's a bit of a blur, isn't it?
Yeah.
Teenage years, yeah.
But yeah, mum and dad took me. The lineup was Y&T, Choir Boys, Gary Moore, and Whitesnake.
Nice.
So I got to see Gary Moore, which was awesome.
Awesome,
It's just a three-piece. There was Gary, some ridiculously good bass player, and the guy on drums was, what's his name? Plays Pearl, plays for Primal Scream.
Don't know.
Oh, can't remember. If you can remember who I'm talking about, put it in the comments somewhere and let me know. Adam, do we get to see the comments? All right, okay. We'll see them, so let me know if you know who I'm talking about. They were awesome. And then Whitesnake came on. First time I've seen Whitesnake live in the still of the night. I think they were touring at that point, and it was incredible. Tommy Aldridge's drum solo where he hits the hell out of the drums with his hands. First time I'd seen that in person, and I was just like jaw on the floor watching him play that. So that sticks out because it was the first gig I ever went, the first proper gig I ever went to. And another one that is very memorable to me is when I saw Steel Panther and Def Leppard on the same show.
Right.
In fact, no, it wasn't just them two. It was Steel Panther, Def Leppard, and Motley Crue.
Wow.
That was insane.
Lots of hairspray.
Yeah, ridiculous amounts. Steel Panther, the musicianship between that band is insane. They market themselves as this piss take band, but they are really not. They are incredible musicians.
That's the thing, I think, when you see a band like Steel Panther, you watch them and you actually just, when you pick apart what they actually do, the musicianship there is just, yeah. They could have just put themselves out there as just a standard, not standard band, but like a non-comical band, and they would have absolutely smashed it.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. If there'd have been a band in the 80s, a serious band in the 80s, they'd have been a worldwide.
Yeah.
Phenomenons.
Phenomenon.
Yeah.
Phenomenon.
So what about you? What sticks out in your mind?
I reckon. I mean, I've been to obviously hundreds of gigs over the years, but I think
Hundreds.
well, ish. It's probably about 10. I reckon it was Limp Bizkit, and it was like a random gig. They weren't touring an album. They just suddenly just went, do you know what? Let's just go and tour. And I think they literally did a couple of dates in the UK, and it was 2011 or 2012, and they did Brixton Academy.
Oh, nice.
And it was just one of those gigs where me and my missus, we just thought, let's just book ticket. Let's just go. You know, we had nothing on. And it was just incredible, hit after hit. Like I say, they weren't touring an album, so it was just like a greatest hits.
Banger, banger,
Oh,
banger,
mate,
banger.
From the get-go, I think they started off with My Generation. So,
yes.
And there was no intro. Literally, the lights just went down and the crowd went up. And then John Otto just come in with his do-doof, do-gadoof, do-doof, do-doof. There was no even, because at the beginning of that song, there's like the little build-up, isn't there, on the hats and the kick. But he didn't even do that, and he just went straight into it. And it was just the sound. And John Otto, man, is just one of those drummers which is, I don't know, I think he's just a bit of a, he's just, I don't know, there's something about him where he's not really on that pedestal with...
He's underrated.
Oh, mate,
Yeah,
incredible.
he's massively underrated.
But he's just such a groove monster, and he was...
I've not heard many people tune their snare as high as he tunes his snare as well. The crack on his snare is
Mate, it's
insane.
unbelievable. But the thing is, he sits quite low, and he had just like everything from like 6 right down to an 18. And he just had chinas and cymbals and everything in front of him. And you couldn't even see him. You could just see like things moving.
Yeah.
But he's not really he's not one of these drummers that sits on the crash the whole time. He's pretty much just hats.
No, a load of hat work, isn't
Oh,
there? Yeah.
tons. Yeah. So, and that were, so everything from, his sound to, and I think Limp Bizkit over the years obviously had loads of lineup changes. And I think this was the one gig where they were suddenly all back together.
Oh, so Wes was there.
So Wes was there, dressed up.
Because they had like Buckethead on guitar and all sorts of people.
But Wes Borland was there, and he had some like LED face mask with like the top half of him was white, and he had long black hair, and he had this LED mark, and he just looked. It was so intimidating. That's
Yeah,
the
because he always wore those like black contacts as
Oh,
well, so
mate,
you couldn't see his eyes at
Yeah,
all.
he's one of these guitarists, and that's the thing. You've got Fred Durst just doing his thing, and you've got Sam Rivers, the bass player. John
Hey, you're
Hurst.
Red Cap.
Yeah, your Red Cap. What was that?
That's the
Rolling
rolling video. Is
It's
it Ben Affleck?
Stiller. Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller, that's it.
Don't scratch it. But yeah, so that gig for me was pretty much up there as one of my favourite gigs. If we're going to do a second one, has anyone commented? Let us know if you've got a favourite gig. Comment. Don't be shy. Can't even say it. Don't be scared or shy. The second gig I think was Muse. I'm a huge Muse fan. Now I think Muse is one of those bands. They're a bit Marmite. Some people.
But didn't they get
love them.
voted like the world's best live band about 8 years in a row or something daft?
But
as
there's
well?
something, I don't know
And
what
they're
it
a
is.
three-piece.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but there's something about them where people just go, oh man, can't stand them. But until you've actually been to a gig, and it's almost at the point where you forget you're at a gig. It's just like a theatre show. It's just so theatrical and over the top. But yeah, it was
really
the most.
immersive.
Yeah, and it was the most recent one at the O2. And the whole thing was obviously being filmed as well, and we didn't know it. And they released the film separate to the show, and it all sort of made sense. There was so many little bits in it. You're watching it live, and you're like, I don't really get what happened there. But all of a sudden, there was like this massive like skeleton robot at the end, and it was like 40 foot in the air, and it was again really intimidating. You're like, what's going on? But yeah, when you watch the film, it kind of makes sense. But yeah, again, that was good. And again, Dom Howard on drums is just one of the. I think because you've got someone like Matt Bellamy in the band.
Yeah.
Dom Howard just sort of just sits at the back, and again, he's not really. He's quite underrated, I think.
Just holding it together whilst Matt
Yeah,
Bellamy's pissing about with a chaos pad on his guitar.
Exactly. So yeah, so that's it for me. To be fair,
2 big bands. Can you remember how much the ticket was for Limp Bizkit?
Limp Bizkit, it's quite reasonable actually. It was about 20 quid.
Yeah,
I
I'd
think
have thought
20,
that.
25 quid.
I'd have thought
And you know what, recently during lockdown, I actually had a box full of gig tickets, and I actually went through, and there was a band that I saw, I don't know if I can say their name, Lost Prophets.
Ooh. Well, I mean, it's a bit late. You said it now.
Oh yeah. But anyway, but that gig, obviously at the time, it was it was early 2000s, so 2003, 2004, and I paid like £9.50 for the ticket, and that was Brixton Academy. Yeah. But yeah, so ticket.
I think the
prices-
first time I saw Bullet was at Leeds Uni Refectory, And I think that was like £8
Wow.
to see Bullet for My Valentine, who now you'd pay like 30, 40 quid a ticket for.
It's crazy, isn't it, really?
Showing his age now, mate.
That's it.
That's it. Have we had any comments? Have we had anybody telling us, come on, guys, tell us what your most memorable gig is? And then we might have been there. Probably weren't, but we may well have been.
I'll tell you what has been, just while we wait for the comments to come in, what has been the worst gig you've been to?
Oh, there's a few.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you mine.
Yeah, go for it while I think.
I think my worst gig was Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Really?
Yeah, and it was at, I think it was was it Nebworth? Yeah, it was at Nebworth, and Dizzy Rascal was supporting. And I enjoyed Dizzy Rascal so much. He was such a good hype man. He was just incredible. He got the crowd going. And it was just him and a DJ. And, I mean, we were at Nebworth, and so you're standing in a massive field, but you've got all the sound systems, like you've literally halfway down, you've got like the big column, and so you can hear everything. And the sound was dreadful, and it was raining, and it was just one of those gigs where it was like by the time the band finished the song, by the time it got to us, it was just like a little polite cricket clap.
Yeah.
There was no atmosphere. And the band come on, and they literally didn't react with the crowd at all. They literally come on and did like song after song. And the thing is with Red Hot Chili Peppers, I don't know, but I just don't really get any sort of dynamics with their songs. I sort of feel like one song after the other, and it was pretty much, I mean, it's great, you know, the groove side of it. You got Flea and you got Chad, two of them together. It was just a groove powerhouse. But I don't know, it's one of those cases when we're just standing in the field, there's like 90,000 people in the rain just standing there, and there was no atmosphere. And it was like, 110 quid a ticket, I think, as well. It's for the missus, you know, she wanted to go. And then they literally had one exit on the car park open. So you had, I don't know, say 10,000 cars all trying to go through one exit. So we literally stayed in this field for 4 hours trying to leave.
Just sat in your car?
Just sat in the car. Everyone was just like, there was no, it's pitch black, chucking it down with rain. There was no direction from any marshals or anything.
Depressing.
So that whole thing was just like...
Just an horrible experience.
Horrible experience, yeah.
I think I've just been thinking about it while you were talking. I've never really experienced a horrendously bad gig. But the first time I saw Paramore, Hayley Williams, her in-ears weren't working. And she mentioned it like at the start of the set. She mentioned that her in-ears weren't working. And she complained about it in between every song, in the middle of every song.
Oh, no, really?
And she was singing out of key, not through massive fault of her own, and she was like, you could tell that she was listening, you know, like the slapback you get from the back of a venue. She was listening to that. So she was slightly out of key, slightly out of time. And all she did was moan about it. She didn't try and make it work in any way. She just moaned and moaned and moaned. Got to the end of the set, and she just chucked the mic down and just walked off stage.
Oh, no.
It's like, cool.
Great.
All of us have paid to come and see you here.
But I'm surprised there was no kind of backup plan. You know, normally when you're on tour, you'd have multiple in-ear systems, multiple in-ears, that kind of thing.
Especially with a band of that caliber as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it was years ago. They were fairly new. I think they were touring. What was the first album that they really went big on? Whatever that album is called.
Behind Blue Eyes? That's a Limp Bizkit song.
No, that's a Limp Bizkit cover as well.
Oh, yeah. Adam's going to find out
what the album was called.
It's behind something.
It's not sure. Riot. Riot was the one after that. All We Know Is Falling, that's it, yeah.
It's completely different to what I said.
So they were touring All We Know Is Falling. So they were fairly new to the scene, but they'd just blown up. They were a major label by that point and everything like that. And the most annoying thing for me was the band sounded awesome. And none of the other members moaned at all, but she was just bitching all the way through the set, all the way through.
I saw that with All Time Low, actually, at Reading. They did the same thing. I think their drummer, it was either his Mac or his in-ears stopped working, and obviously they're relying on the Mac for tracks.
Yeah.
And it was the whole thing, and there was literally just 20 minutes of them just trying different cables. It's like, guys, just I don't know, because I don't really run that many tracks. Surely it's just click. In an All-Time Low gig.
Yeah, really. Maybe, I don't know.
But yeah, that
I've
again.
seen All-Time Low a few times. They've been really good for the most part. So saw them at the Broodnell, really small club just around the corner from here. Yeah, really small, intimate gig. What's the cap on the Brood, Bryn? 200 people.
Wow.
Yeah. So to see All-Time Low, this was only a couple of years ago as well. See them in that capacity venue was awesome. They were really good that night.
Nice.
Oh, we've got look at that comment. This is I like
Matt,
this technology.
go on, Matt.
So Matt Green says, "I'll never forget the gig where my stool broke mid-song and I had to finish the set with a small bar stool. I'll never forget the gig where my snare stand broke and me and the guitarist started jamming loads of Kylie Minogue till they found a replacement. How did you jam Kylie Minogue without a snare stand?" Matt, answer that with your next comment. "I'll never forget gigging on a boat in Liverpool docks." Nice. "I'll never forget playing Butlins, and I'll never forget a festival we headlined years ago where I turned up Friday, camped over, and literally didn't have a moment without a beer in my ...
Stomach, hand.
What was the words after that, Adam? I would assume hand as well. So we got Anthony Drummed.
Best gig, Guns N' Roses Illusion Tour.
Ooh.
Gateshead Stadium, 1991.
Nice.
Kin' awesome. Faith No More and Soundgarden support bands.
Oh, what a lineup.
Wow. Must say, Bring Me the Horizon and Shinedown on Amazing Live too. Shinedown. God, I
Yeah.
totally forgot about them.
I saw Shinedown live. They supported... Who did they support? Can't remember. They were a support act for... Could have been Nickelback. One of the times that I've seen Nickelback. I think they supported
that
Nickelback
fits,
once.
yeah.
They were very good live.
Worst
Really good
band live, Wolf Alice.
Never seen them.
No. Are
Supporting
they a
Foo
relatively new
Fighters.
band?
Wolf Alice. Not
Showing
sure.
me age now.
I've heard about them. They're quite good, I believe.
Foo Fighters. I think I've heard of them.
Foo Fighters. I'm currently listening to, on the way up here, I was listening to the new Dave Grohl.
Adam's on with that as well.
Oh, mate, so good. I'm only about 4 chapters in, and it's just... The guy's a legend. What more can you say?
He's incredible, isn't
He's disgustingly talented and handsome.
he? You ever seen them live?
Yes, saw them at Reading. That was the same Reading as the All Time Low thing. But yeah, they were incredible. And when you go and see a Foo Fighters gig, I think it's like you're in it for the long haul. You're not going to just sit there and go, well, we'll go and get a beer and then watch a couple of tunes and then go away and come. Because they literally do about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And it's just...
Even at Reading Festival, they let them do that long.
I think it was about 2 hours, I think.
Jesus.
Yeah, man.
The headline.
Yeah. And they come on, and it was just, I think a Foo Fighters gig is just awesome.
Got another one here.
Oscar.
Oscar says, definitely one of my favourite shows I've been to, November 2017, The Audio in Glasgow, watching IGORRR.
Igor?
Who is Igor? Is that an acronym?
Igor.
Death Metal Breakcore.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Such a mind-blowing experience. The band played an insane set with the female vocalist doing a vocal solo. Ooh, okay. Section midway through the show. Whole venue was silent. Everyone was in awe of her voice. I have never seen such a diverse crowd at any show ever. 10 out of 10 would recommend. I like
Igor with 3 R's.
that was a good comment. Igor. That does sound quite like death metal-y. I can see. I bet their logo is dead spiky as well.
Oh, definitely. You won't be able to tell what they're called.
No. On the poster of Bloodstock with everybody else's spiky logos.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with spiky logos if you have a
we
spiky
like
logo on your band.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other gigs that are memorable. I remember seeing Blink-182 when they did their self-titled album, and there was something about that where it was just... There was no production. So that was at Wembley Arena. Is Wembley Arena still a thing?
I think so.
Yeah. I think I've always just seen gigs at the O2. But anyway, and they did Wembley Arena, and it was just black on stage. Everything was black, and Travis literally had a black drum riser, and that was it. There was no backdrop. It was really like you're waiting for something to happen.
It's like an organic old school gig, but just on a massive scale.
Yeah, it was incredible, and everything was nothing was to click back then. I think if you watch Blink now, it's a little bit more organised. You know, I don't know, but back then every song was just like even like the rock show was just like oh man, what's going on? So that was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Never seen them. I'd like to see them.
You've never seen Blink?
No, never
Really?
seen Blink. Yeah, as big into pop punk as I am, I've never seen
I was
Blink.
going to say, that's like the... What about Green Day? Have you seen Green Day live?
No,
No?
Green Day a bit too commercial for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Even old
Jack,
school Green Day?
Trendy Hendy, he loves Green Day though. Big into Green Day is our Jack. Right, so I think we'll call it there. That's been fun. It's been nice catching up, Nathan.
And you?
Thank you for your time. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
patience, and thank you for your lovely blue eyes as well. It's always fun. Always.
It is.
Never a chore. Thanks for your comments, whoever commented. It's been a pleasure. If we missed your comment, we apologise. You probably didn't put it in quick enough. So we'll call it there. Oh, hang on. I'm getting pointed at by the producer.
Oh, Mark.
Oh, Mark has a comment. My first rock concert ever. Adamant with In Excess as the opening act. Adamant had 2 drummers, and that
Wow.
was when I knew I wanted to be a drummer.
Absolutely.
Nice. Prince Charming. Fantastic, Adamant.
I think
Some
that-
awesome songs.
Adamant, you need 2 drummers, really, didn't you?
Yeah.
For that sort of thing.
I'd love to get dressed up as Adamant and go just on the piss somewhere. I think that'd be fantastic.
Should we do it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, cool. We're going to call it now. Going to go
Dress-
get dressed up as Adamant. And if you're about in Leeds tonight, give us a high five if you walk past us. Thanks, guys.